Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Arrow Season 2, Episode 23, Unthinkable. And this was the season finale, and I was really looking forward to this episode. I really was, because, these past few episodes have all been amazing. Ever since Seeing Red, ever since Moira died, it's been amazing, and I was really hoping this finale was amazing. And it was an amazing finale. I was expecting it to be, and it really was amazing, and it really did not let me down. I can't wait for next season. I really can't. Because there's a lot that's coming up next season, and there's still some things that are unresolved that I'm really looking forward to. So, let's just get to it. So, we see that the episode opens on Oliver. He's staring in his face, convinced that the cure is not working on Roy. Because, he wanted to cure Roy. That was what he wanted to do, because he thinks Roy's the only one that can take out Slade. So an alarm goes off, alerting Felicity to the fact that a number of Slade's Mirakuru soldiers have arrived to kill them. And right away, it's really intense, because Roy wakes up, he punches one of them, hurts his hand, and Oliver fires a grappling line out of the damaged clock face. They are in the clock tower, and, yeah, so they're in the clock tower, and allowing Felicity and Diggle to get to the cure. To get the cure, this is allowing them to get the cure safely. Roy and Oliver follow them out. A black helicopter hovers near the clock tower, and as Slade's goons gather at the broken clock face, a rocket then fires out the side of the chopper and takes out a group of them out in an explosion. It is Lyla Michaels. That's the person that did it. So that was definitely really big. So at the foundry, Diggle and Lyla are going to head to Argus to try and stop the drone strike Waller is sending. So Oliver tells the rest of the team to gather as many weapons as they can, because he really doesn't know what Slade is going to do, what he's going to try to do to him, and basically he just wants to do whatever he can to defeat Slade. That's his main priority. And Oliver plans to put an injection device at the end of the arrows and deliver the cure. That way, no one else will die tonight, because he doesn't want to kill Slade. He really doesn't. He knows Slade is just... he's under this Mirakuru, and that's why he's going insane, because he's under this Mirakuru. So because of that, he wants to try to cure him of this Mirakuru, and that's his plan, basically. And I thought that was a pretty good plan. I knew it wasn't going to work, but I thought it was a pretty good plan. So let me flash back to the few seconds to where Thea pulled the trigger on Malcolm. Now, we thought Malcolm Merlin was dead. I personally thought Malcolm Merlin was dead. He falls, she starts to walk away, but he's not dead. He calls out to her, and he's won a bulletproof vest for the night's activities. That's why he didn't die, because he wore a bulletproof vest. And he told her that she's stronger than Tommy ever was, and that he's proud of her, and then she walks away. So, Tommy was the big death of last year. Even though I didn't see Arrow last year, I know Tommy was the big death of last year. So, I mean, we were all wondering how they could top that, but we know they topped that with Moira. So, at the police department, Quentin is, handling out weapons, and then a pep talk to the cops who are scared of the bizarre circumstances they face. He asks Laurel where Sarah is. She doesn't know. He's called away. And as Laurel enters the hallway, Sarah is telling someone that my sister can't be a part of this. When Laurel calls out to her, she's knocked out by a dart. And then back at the foundry, Roy tells Felicity that he doesn't remember anything since leaving for Bloodhaven. He asks whether he was unconscious the whole time, and she tells him he was out. So in Ollie's lair, he's playing with Diggle and Felicity. Diggle says they need an army, and Nisa shows up with the League of Assassins in tow, saying she's bought one. And that's great that they're working with the League of Assassins, because, they have a huge army now. You have the League of Assassins, you have the three, Oliver, Diggle, and Sarah, Oliver, Diggle, and Sarah, and Felicity, and Oliver objects to Sarah bringing the League into this, saying that whatever they offer comes at a price. Sarah tells him that she's already paid for it and will return with them after the battle. She's willing to keep the one she loves safe and hopes he's willing to do whatever it takes. She tells him she's sorry about Moira, and Oliver said whatever it takes doesn't mean cold-blooded killing, because remember, the last time he saw her, she said, "I'm a killer, that's what I do." So he's really concerned that she's just going to kill people. But Sarah says that to fight the unthinkable, you have to be willing to do the unthinkable. And that's why this episode's called Unthinkable, because Oliver has to do the unthinkable, which is kill. That's the one thing. The one thing that Oliver said he would never do is kill somebody. And he hasn't done it all season long. So Oliver tells Roy to remember his training and gives him a mask. He tells Nyssa that the League has to follow his directions, take prisoners, that no one dies tonight. Roy asks about Thea. Oliver tells him she's fine, that she was headed out of town before the attack started, and Roy calls Thea anyway. She's still arguing with Malcolm, takes the call, surprised to hear from him. He tells her that he wants to make sure she's alright, and she says she's fine at the train station. He asks her to meet him, and she says she will. Malcolm confronts her, saying that Roy is no different from Roy or Oliver, that he's been lying to her too. He tells her that she should only go to Roy if she believes he's different. She says she's going to, and if he follows, she'll shoot him again. He tells her that he'll be there when she needs him. Basically what he's saying is that, look, if Oliver is as bad as you say he is, then Roy is just as bad, because Roy does exactly the same thing that Oliver does, which is completely true. Roy really does do the same things that Oliver does, so I don't know why Thea thinks Roy is any better than Oliver, because they're basically the same person. I mean, seriously, Thea, can you not be more stupid? Oliver and company make a rush on Queen Consolidated, where Slade and Rochev are making their Queen command center. They take out a half-dozen Miracuru soldiers by injecting them with a cure. Oliver finds himself face-to-face with Slade, Rochev, and a number of their soldiers. Slade says Oliver must have a tremendous amount of faith in the cure to come alone. But Oliver says he didn't come alone. A bunch of League members rappelled into the room, smashing the window, and everyone except Rochev and Deathstroke are quickly cured and knocked out. Deathstroke rappels out of the building. Rochev fights with Sarah and Nyssa. They cure her and knock her to her knees, but Oliver stops them from killing her. So Rochev starts to monologue about how it doesn't matter because she beat him and took away. I thought this was definitely a very good scene, but we never hear what, because Nyssa kills her from behind, and Oliver, upset, holds her at arrow point, but she just walks away. He tells Sarah that the process isn't working as long as he can't get close enough to administer the cure. His reflexes are too fast to him with an arrow. So back to the freighter, Slade is preparing to kill Oliver, and Anatoly shoots a torpedo through the freighter. He wants to kill Oliver. That's pretty obvious. We knew he was going to kill Oliver. I'm not surprised by that. We knew he was going to. Basically, Lance finds Laurel unconscious right after she reveals that Sarah left with Nyssa. There's a commotion in the next room. It's a Miracuru soldier. He's knocking out cops, including Lance, and his search to grab Laurel. So Lance joins the group at Queen Consolidated, upset about having to work with Nyssa. He tells them about Laurel, but Felicity picks them up, thermal imagining, and the Miracuru soldiers are trying to escape the city. So via tunnel out of town to avoid being blown up by Argus. Oliver says the city comes first. So yeah, the city comes first, and I thought that was definitely a very big scene. And Lance appeals to him, saying that Wilson and his men are monsters that need to be destroyed. He too wants Oliver to start killing again. So I mean, he says, look, you need to start killing people again. You can't just do this I'm not going to kill anyone routine. It's not going to work. You know, Slade wants to kill you, so you have to kill him. Felicity tells Oliver that Lance is wrong, but Oliver says he's right. He says he's been fighting with him, one hand tied behind his back, and that he has to kill him. He has no other choice but to kill him. And Felicity says this all started because Oliver tried to kill him last time. She says to make Slade outthink him instead of trying to outthink Slade. I mean, this was definitely a really good scene. Now, this next scene, I love this scene because we really didn't know what Thea was going to do. Thea was acting like an idiot, as I said. She was really acting like, oh, you know, Roy is not as bad as Oliver. He is nowhere near as bad. You know, he's nothing like Oliver. When the truth is, he is just as bad as Oliver. Thea shows up at Roy's apartment. He's watching a news report. He apologizes to her, then starts to move towards her, telling her that he's cured now. She tells him that Sin told her, but asks if he's okay now. He says he's fine. He has a lot of time. He's lost a lot of time, but he's okay. Thea then asks about Arrow, saying that he promised to take care of Roy. He tells her that he doesn't know about the Arrow, and that he's done with all that, and he only cares about her. He's done with trying to be a superhero. She tells Roy they need to leave town and start over. He tells her he's never losing her again, and then they kiss, and I thought that was great, because you see that now Thea and Roy are back together, and his phone rings, and he says there's one thing that he needs to do before they go. She doesn't want him to do it, but he asks him if she trusts him. She says yes. He tells her that when he gets back, they're leaving forever, and he loves her. So, at Queen Mansion, Oliver leaves Felicity to keep her safe from Slade. She says she doesn't want to be safe. She wants to help. And you know what? There's a lot of Felicity feels in this scene. I really was feeling the Felicity feels in this scene. I was feeling like, I was really feeling like, ugh, they need to get together, like, now. Like, seriously, that you can definitely see the chemistry between them. And if they're not together by next season, I'm going to be very surprised. Basically, he tells her that Slade took Laurel because he wants to kill the woman he loves, but he took the wrong woman and that he loves her. He leaves, and he just told her he loved her. So I thought that was a great scene because he just admitted to Felicity that he loves her. So at Argus, Diggle tells Lyla he loves her, and they enter the building. So finally, Diggle does have something to do, and I thought that was definitely very good. So at the main activity room from last time, Walter's having a hard time getting a visual because Gomez and Easy Company have been slaughtered in the tunnel by the Miracru army. Oliver leads the League of Assassins against them, curing them all in one fell swoop. Even Roy can see a bow now. Nisa is almost killed by a Miracru soldier from behind, but he's cured by Lance holding a cure arrow. From here, it's just like shit's hitting the fan. It's really intense, and I love that. I think it's awesome. At the main activity room from basically in the Suicide Squad area, Diggle and Lyla incapacitate a guard and break them squad out to help. And then we see another flashback where we're on the Amazon. Water's filling the freighter. Oliver's trying to get Sarah off the ship and cure Slade. He throws the remaining Miracru into a burning part of the ship. Slade retaliates by grabbing Sarah, throwing her out of the freighter, where Oliver sees her swallowed up in an echo of the pilot. This is where, basically, he thought she was dead. That's why he thought she was dead. And in Roy's apartment, Thea is packing things up when she finds an arrow and quiver. Amanda wants to prep the drone to fire right away, but the Suicide Squad storm the room. Diggle tells her to call it off. Amanda tells Michael it's treason and reveals that Diggle is going to be a father. So, basically, Michaels is pregnant, so that's a really big thing. The girl, he was just, she is pregnant now, so I thought that was, Lyla is pregnant now, and that is a really big thing, so we finally have something for Diggle to do, and Diggle's gonna be a father, so Lyla's pregnant, and that's pretty surprising. I was like, wow. Slade then calls to Oliver, telling him to come meet him, or he'll kill Felicity, and it's just, here is where we get the awesome Oliver and Slade fight. We finally get it here. Oliver joins Slade in an abandoned factory. He narrates that if he'd killed Oliver first thing, everything would have turned out differently. Slade is holding Felicity, and another man comes out holding Laurel. So, again, he's making Oliver choose between Felicity and Laurel. And Oliver tells Slade that Shadow would be horrified by what he has done in her name. He tells Oliver that all he's done is fight for her. He tells Oliver that he'll know what he feels like to hate, and now he knows what it feels like to see an enemy so distracted that he doesn't see the real danger. Felicity then stabs Slade with a vial of the cure, darts off as he fails. Sarah takes out the other Miracru soldier from behind. Laurel kicks him while he's down, and Oliver tells Sarah to clear the others out, then grab his bow. They're planning on killing Slade, basically. That's what they're planning on doing. They're planning on killing him. So, Slade asks how many times Oliver is going to watch Sarah die. The two clash in both timelines, and it was really cool, because you're seeing them fight in the present and also fight in the past, and it's just really awesome. As Slade says that it wasn't the Miracru that made him hate Oliver, that was a pretty big thing. I'm like, wow, you didn't hate Oliver because of the Miracru? So then why'd you hate Oliver? The drones flies past, and Slade tells Oliver that maybe he'll live long enough to see the city burn. And in both timelines, he seems to get the better of Oliver. Basically, he is getting a rise out of Oliver. That's what he's doing. In the present, Slade says it can only end if he kills Slade, but that will prove that Oliver's a murderer. In the past, he tells Oliver that he'll keep his promise even if Oliver cures him, so Oliver responds instead by putting an arrow through his eye, which we knew already. We knew that Oliver put the arrow through his eye, and I knew we were going to see that. So I was very happy that we saw that, because I knew we had to see that. So Slade then falls back in the water. Another explosion rocks the Amazon, separating the pair, so that the Amazon is now dead. The ship is dead. So then, in the present, Oliver uses bolo arrows to tie Slade to the concrete pyrion, and I thought Slade was just going to die right here and then, but he basically says that whether Oliver kills him or not, he wins. He says, kill me, I dare you, and he says, either way, I win. And then Oliver calls to Amanda to ask her to call off the drones, telling her that Slade's army is taken out and he's captured. And then Slade asks, what now? So, yeah, Oliver didn't kill Slade, and I was surprised by that. I thought Oliver was going to kill Slade right then and there. But you know what? I like this because now we can see, like, a continuation of that whole plot. You know, it's not completely over yet, so... Sarah tells Lance that she chose Nyssa, that she's deciding her own fate for the first time. She hugs her father, Laurel telling them that she loves them. Nyssa promises that she'll die before letting anything bad happen to Sarah. So, Sarah then tells Laurel that Oliver needs her, and gives Laurel the Black Canary leather jacket. Now, as we know, in the comics, Laurel becomes the Black Canary. So, next season, Laurel's the Black Canary, I'm thinking. And Laurel tells her not to get any ideas. He collapses on the pier. And this was pretty big. You know, Quentin then, he collapses on the pier. He has broken ribs from the scuffle, and the mere crew of soldiers are catching up with him, and Laurel calls for an ambulance. That's the last scene we see of that. So, is he dead? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. They did say there's a major death, so I'm thinking it's Quentin Lance that's dead. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. At Roy's apartment, he then finds a quiver with a note from Thea. Basically, it says that she's leaving and never coming back because she doesn't trust him now because he said he's not doing this anymore. And, you know, we then see her getting in the back of a car with Merlin. Pretty much what this is showing is that she's abandoning the name Thea Queen, and she's now going by Thea Merlin because she wants to, I think, make up for that time she didn't have with Malcolm Merlin. I don't think it's anything against Roy. I think she does love him. It's that she is making up for that time she did not have with Malcolm Merlin, and she wants to be with him. That's what it is. I think that's really what it is. So, Roy then takes out his Arsenal mask and tries it and looks at it. He's going to now have that Arsenal mask, I think, when he fights. So, it's going to be cool to see, definitely. And then we get the last scene of Slade. We don't know what Oliver's going to do to Slade. I thought Oliver was going to kill him in this scene. All we see is that Slade wakes up in a cell. We don't know where he is or whatever, but Oliver tells him that this is as far as humanity as he can get him. He concedes that he's alive because of Slade, but that he isn't a killer at heart. He says that stopping Deathstroke without killing proves that Slade also helped him become a hero. And I thought that was great, because Oliver's now become a hero because of Slade. He didn't kill him. Heroes don't kill. It really is that message that a hero doesn't kill. And I've heard that message before, and it's true with these type of comics, heroes doesn't kill. I do think eventually Oliver is going to kill somebody, but heroes don't kill. That's the message here. Basically, on the door is the Argus logo. Oliver tells him he is in purgatory, and Slade's ranting about this and that, about how he keeps the promises, and what I'm thinking is that eventually Slade is going to get his way out of that prison, and he's going to, you know, probably fight Oliver again at some point, but not for a while. And then the most surprising part, I love this scene, we see Oliver basically leave the prison, go up a ladder, he's on the island. They are now on the island. You see Diggle, him, and Felicity there, with Oliver telling them that there will be others that they have to put here and other battles to fight. So that is where they're going to be working now. They're going to be working in the island. And I thought that was fantastic because now, basically, where Oliver met Slade is where Oliver imprisoned Slade. And I thought that was awesome because it's exactly the same place. And I couldn't think of a better way to do that. So I thought it was great that they went back to the island, definitely. Basically, Oliver then talks to them that basically the first thing that they need to do is get the company back. That's going to be the big storyline next year, is to get the company back. And Diggle leaves Oliver, and he says it's not going to be easy, but, you know, he says he's going to try to do it. Oliver and Felicity then decide to talk for a moment. You know, I thought they were going to, like, kiss or something here, but that did not happen. She then admits that he briefly had her fooled that he loved her. He says he really sold the act and says they both did. So, yeah, he doesn't love her. She doesn't love him either. I think the thing is that they have so much going on right now that they just can't admit it. I think they do love each other. I do think that. I think next year we are going to see a relationship from them. But they didn't. The reason they didn't do it this season is because we had so much other stuff going on that they just didn't have the time to fit that in. So I understand why they didn't show that this season. I'm not upset at that. But the very last scene, we then get to the very last flashback. We see there's a plane nearby that Oliver says he'll fly after Diggle declines to give him the news he had about himself and Lyla. Felicity asks how he learned to fly a plane while stuck on a desert island. And Oliver then flashes back to walking up after the battle with Slade. He's then on a bed in Hong Kong, and a man takes him to Amanda Waller, puts him in the back of a limousine, and tells him they have a lot to discuss. So, this is how Amanda knows everything about Oliver, and I thought that was perfect, and I overall loved this finale. A couple questions I do have, though, about this finale. First, with Oliver and with Slade not dead, do you think there's going to be a final? Do you think there's going to be another Slade and Oliver battle? I think this battle is not over. You can definitely see that Slade is not done with Oliver. Even though Oliver wants him to be done with him, I don't think Slade is done with Oliver. I think Slade is going to find other ways to get his revenge on Oliver, because it's all about destroying Oliver and then killing him. He was gonna kill Oliver, and I think that is. Eventually he is going to get his revenge on him, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Felicity and Oliver. Lot of sexual tension in them in this episode. Let me just say that I do think they are going to get together next season, because he admitted that he loved her, and he wouldn't just say that. I think he really does love her, and he just doesn't want to admit it, and they're just acting like, friends right now, because they're so used to that, but I think deep in their heart, they really do love each other. Thea. I think Thea ran away with Malcolm Merlyn just because she wants to be... Basically, she ran away with Malcolm Merlyn because she wants to make up for that past time. So I'm thinking that, is Thea gone now? I think she's gone. I think Thea's gone, and honestly, I think it's the best because, let me just say, Thea has become my least favorite character on this show. Literally, all she does is whine and complain, which, I mean, she's still a great character, but she's the only character I feel like doesn't need to be on this show anymore. So I'm glad they got rid of her. And the last thing is Quentin Lance dead? I don't know. We're going to have to see if Quentin Lance is dead, but I'm interested in seeing where that's going to go. And now the island flashbacks are no longer island flashbacks. They're off the island, so now the flashbacks are going to be Oliver meeting up with Amanda. So I'm figuring next season there's going to be a lot of Oliver, Amanda scenes. And also, Diggle and List and, what's her name? Diggle and, Lyla, now Lila's pregnant, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with Diggle as well. I'm glad Diggle finally got his own storyline. I thought that was great. But overall, this was a great finale. Let me just say that overall, this season has been amazing. I'm so glad I watched Arrow this year. In the beginning of the year, I just decided, I'm going to start watching Arrow. I heard it was a great show, and it was a great decision that I made because Arrow turned out to be one of my favorite shows on the CW. My two favorite shows on CW are the originals and Arrow. Those are my two favorites, and I love the Vampire Diaries too, but the originals and Arrow just take the cake. They've had great finales, and I think it was a fantastic finale. I couldn't have ended it any other way. By far the best episode of the season. So much great stuff happened in this episode. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What are you looking forward to next season? I'm really looking forward to next season. So much happened in this episode that I'm really looking forward to next season. Is the fight between Slade and Oliver over? That's really what I want to know. But that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. My next review will be for The Americans, which comes on in a few minutes. So I will see you guys for that. Bye.